what do you do as a
Yeah.
job?
So I build websites for a living for like an actual company. So it's not like freelance,
Mhm.
like finding my own customers and everything. But I build like I'd say maybe like 3 to 4 websites a week or so for a bunch of different businesses. So you're like calling people, sort of finding out what they want. It's really sort of finding out what content they want on the website and stuff like that.
Right.
But it can be definitely really time consuming.
So I don't imagine you want to do that forever, right? Like you're not, that's not your
Yeah.
career,
The
right?
goal is definitely working towards doing art full time, 100%.
Yeah. So are you you're starting to integrate to that right now? So how have
Mhm.
you been doing that?
Actually, so recently, I mean, I've always sold my art online. That's definitely always a hustle. Recently, I did find out about what they call crypto art. And so it really gives artists a way to sort of sell their art
Mhm.
without having to deal with like a middleman of like a gallery or a museum or something like that. That sort of like takes a full cut and connects you to the people that actually want to buy art.
Mhm.
It gives you that platform to sort of sell that art too.
So how did you get started in crypto art? I didn't even know this was a thing. I just think of like cryptocurrency or whatever. So like how did you even find this?
So of course I am on Twitter a lot, and so there's an artist called Ferocious. They sort of do a lot of digital art, and so I did see them sort of getting into what they call crypto art, sort of creating a NFT for the digital piece they created.
Mhm.
And that is like a big discussion for people too. Is like, how do digital artists sell their work just like a physical artist would? Um, and I think that definitely opens the gates for digital artists a lot more too. But yeah, I found out on Twitter. I did a bit more research, and I played with crypto in like 2012, so it wasn't too hard for me to like get started with it. But it's definitely a little bit of a knowledge sort of issue when it comes to getting into it, since crypto is a bit sort of scary and everything like that to some people.
Yeah, I think it's still an unknown. It's an early stage of it's kind of, you're saying earlier it's like the dot com boom. It's kind of like the early
Mhm.
days of crypto. So it's the Wild West and it's unpredictable and it's kind of scary to people. So it's cool that you're finding a way to make it something that everyone can relate to and it's an alternative way of doing business, especially right now when you can't really be
Yeah,
out
when
and
we're all sort
about,
of stuck at home.
so I don't
I
know.
mean,
So
it's definitely not like um, artists sort of like only sell crypto art. I think it's more of like a great way for artists to have another avenue
mhm.
of like an income source, and then sort of getting rid of more of that idea of like the starving artist as well.
Yeah, there doesn't need to be one, right? Like you
Yeah, exactly.
you got to figure it out. So you have where do you find yourself, putting this work and like how do people find this? Like how do I find, do I have to know what I'm looking for or how is this accessible?
So typically, yeah, now it's like there are platforms. Of course, not everybody's going to know about those platforms, and with so many platforms being out there, it's kind of hard to sometimes keep track of all of them too. But I mean, there's places like Rarible, OpenSea, Maker's Place, Super Rare, and Known Origin, and these are just what you would call marketplaces, basically. Some are open for all artists to use, and some are more like exclusive where you have to sign up and stuff like that. It's a lot more work and all that.
Hmm. So,
Um,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, but it's basically a way for those artists to sell their work.
Mm.
And I think it really more comes down to not really depending on those platforms though, is more so building your own sort of platform, like your social medias and things like that, and getting yourself out like that. Yeah. So The easiest way I can explain is just think of the real traditional art world. You have your big, huge auction houses and things like that. But those are only exclusive to those super big artists that are selling for millions and stuff like that. And so nowadays, I think you're seeing a lot more platforms pop up, even like just on like Clubhouse, for example, not involving crypto, as people are doing like live auctions for people to sell art. And then so like crypto takes like a big example of that is doing auctions with art.
Mm-hmm.
And so the artist sort of controls that auction, instead of like someone else controlling it. So you accept that bid when you're happy with that bid, or you want to maybe get more from that piece. You of course can wait from accepting that as well. Yeah, there we go. So if you enter that building, that would be my little gallery that I made. So yeah, right here is actually a little series I did called the Feeling Series. So for 5 days, I painted, I think 10 pieces, just 2 pieces a day, basically. And just sort of how I felt and based it off of color. And this is a great example is I combined this in an NFT and physical canvas bundle. So if someone bought that NFT, they would get shipped that physical piece as well. So all 10 of them got shipped like around the world and things like that, which is pretty cool. And you can see that I got my cool little couch here and things like that. There's a lot of different like metaverse worlds like this that really give artists a way to sort of be creative and create things what they want to create. This one's a bit more definitely sort of basic, like block sort of. Minecraft is definitely a great way to sort of compare it to. But it basically, yeah, there's ones that are more like realistic and stuff like that. But you own this piece of land and you can build whatever you want on it. So it really gives people that creative output, I think. The virtual land, of course, does cost cryptocurrency. So you can buy it for like ETH, which is what a lot of people sell their art for and stuff like that. And it's just sort of, it really varies in prices. Some people do it as an investment because that land could go up in price. And some people just focus on having land to sort of build what they want on it and stuff like that. The cool thing about this is a great way to show is that there's so many different artists sort of in that crypto space. And they can all sort of show their work in a virtual way like that. So that it shows them how to sort of just get themselves out there in a way.
Okay. So I want to go back to some of your pieces, talk a little bit about that. Cause I saw, you got writing on there. You have all these different, sounds emitting from each of these pieces. I want to look, I mean, look, these are moving though. This is crazy. How did you do this?
Yeah. So some of them, so that one, I actually created with my friend Alejo. Mm-hmm. So he sort of cut out the character and sort of edited in After Effects. He actually sort of taught me how to do that on my own and stuff like that too, which I've done with a few pieces recently. But you can kind of see like my old animation style downstairs is like more just still and like moving lines and stuff like that. But I'm slowly learning how to get like more moving functions with it.
Yeah. Oh, you got one all the way up in the sky here. What compelled you to put it up in the sky? That's pretty. I was
messing around a little bit.
Oh, you got another one down here. So this is very different from a lot of other of the pieces I've seen. So what's the difference here? What did you do differently?
Mm-hmm. So this is actually a collab with my friend Odious. Mm-hmm. And so I do a little bit of digital art, definitely not too much. I focus more on painting. But the sort of skeleton drawing was more of my like a digital style and stuff like that. Okay. But Odious is a great artist. I met him like last year. He's been really cool to sort of get to know and everything like that.
Yeah, no, this is This is a cool thing to, because so that's the friend you were telling me you collaborate with. You were telling me earlier about that. Is
Mhm.
that, yeah?
Yeah, so I've collabed with a couple of like Alejo, Zion's another one,
Hmm.
because like I've been adding like audio to the sort of visual styles, and it's cool to sort of work with my friends and sort of combine with our ideas and everything like that too.
Yeah, that's God, this is I can't believe I didn't know this was going on.